Hi, I promised the students in one of my classes a very quick tutorial on how to do animated text in After Effects. So here it is. So I'm going to make a new project, and I'm just going to make a quick 10-second animation. So I'm making a new comp, and I'll set it to HD TV 1080-25 and 10-second duration. Okay, so to create text, there's several ways of making text in After Effects. I'm just going to right click in my layer area and say new text, and I'm just going to type heading. So let's just say the credible. Okay, and I'll switch back to my selection tool, and on the right hand side I have my character panel where I can change the settings. So I'll just set it to Helvetica regular and adjust the tracking. So of course these are all of the things that you would adjust like you would in any program to your own taste. So I'll place that there. And then let's make another text layer, and let's just type Hulk, and I'll set that bigger and bold and change the tracking. And let's also set that to green. Okay, so there's my two layers of text. So to animate, there's two different approaches to animation. One is to customize and build your own animation design, and the other one is to use a preset. So let's deal with the preset first. So for the top text, the smaller text, I'll just place that on top as the layer on top. I'm going to place my playhead at, let's just say, 1 second. That's where I want my animation to start. So that's the first thing with a preset, is place your playhead exactly where you want the animation to begin. Then I'm going to go to my effects and presets panel, and into animation presets, text, and then animate in. And there's lots of them here. Unfortunately, you can't preview these directly in After Effects. You would have to actually switch to Adobe Bridge to do that. So in order to see what they do, you have to actually apply them, test them, and if you don't like it, just undo. So I'm going to choose rain. Let me choose raining characters. And I'm just going to drag that onto the text, and so now you'll see that if I just drag my playhead, the text rains into position like that. So when you're dealing with a preset, you can customize it afterwards. However, some of these presets can be pretty complex. So what I find is once I've applied the preset, if I just select that layer and press U, that's going to reveal to me any animated properties. So here you can see the offset value is the only property that's animated for this preset, and so there's 2 keyframes for that. If I close that up again and I now press UU, it will reveal to me any of the properties for this layer that have been changed from default. So I can dig in and I can adjust some of these items, but again, you have to know what you're doing, and sometimes this can take you down the rabbit hole because you can get yourself in a big mess. So sometimes it's best just to leave the presets as they are and adjust maybe 1 or 2 minor things, or to design your own text animation from scratch. Okay, so we've got the preset working there. So when it gets to about that stage, I want the green text now to animate. So I'm going to switch to that layer. And now I'm going to do a custom animation. So I'm going to open up that layer, and you'll see I have a text property, and across I have animate. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to start off by animating position. So I'll click on that, and you'll see that it highlights the position value. Now don't get confused with the transform property called position. So in your transform area for the layer are all your transform properties for the layer, not the characters of the text. So it's a different property altogether. So here I'm going to change this position value on the Y so that the text is near the bottom of the screen. And then what I'm going to do is go into the range selector for this particular animator, and I'm going to set the stopwatch on for start. I'm then going to move my playhead to 5 seconds, and I'm going to set my start property to 100. So what happens is I now have this start going from 0 to 100 over 3 seconds, sorry. So that's what is happening. So now that I've got that range selector done, I can continue to add properties to this animator. So I'm going to go and add an opacity property and set that to 0, which now means that the opacity value goes from 0 to 100 over those 3 seconds. Okay, I'll also add a scale property, and I'll set that to 1000. So now I have these huge letters at 1000 coming in like that. I'll also add a property for rotation, and I'll set that to 2 full rotations. So now I've got these letters coming in and rotating in as well. And then I want to change the way that they come in. So I'm going to go into the advanced section here, and I'm going to change the shape to ramp up. So what should happen now is that they don't come in one at a time, they actually come in all together. And then finally what I want to do is I want to make sure that they come in a random order. So under random order I'm going to put it to on. So now if I go back, you can see the letters come in randomly. Now the problem with this now with the ramp up is that when I go back to 0 seconds, my letters are not off the screen. So I don't want to start like that. So I'm going to go to where my animation starts, which is at 2 seconds, thereabouts, and I'm going to go to the offset value, and I'm going to take the offset down to a negative value until that text is off, and I'm going to put the stopwatch on for offset to make a keyframe there. And then I'm going to go to the end of the animation, that's at 5 seconds, and I'm going to change the offset value so that the letters are now where they should be. So that's at a value of 0. So now I've got those letters coming in over that time. So let me just play this so that you can see what I've got. Okay, so that's really just the basics of it. There's obviously a lot more to text animation, but that's really just a very quick introduction that you can take and build on from there to create pretty much any kind of text animation that you like. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.